Hello everyone, welcome to day 35. Today we'll be working on some of the features that we added yesterday, as well as we're going to be testing out greppy, which is a little tool that we made to reduce the amount of tokens and the speed of the grep that Cloud Code is using. We ran a little experiment. Seems like it's pretty good, runs faster, not using much tokens per grep, so hopefully today we will not run out of credits. I started purposefully a little bit later today, so that way we could not have to use anything else, because I would prefer to keep using Opus 4.5 if possible. Welcome everybody. I think I'm going to start up a few of these. So these are all of our new terminals that are using our greppy tool. So it's just like an index repo. It's all in VectorDB, and it's using a llama for the embedding, and that's how it's saving on the tokens. All that's run locally on your computer. Okay, so go ahead and take a look at our DCF scripts that we use to populate for C Limited. We're going to start to hook it up to our data research repo. Well, before we begin, make sure we can run it for all companies. It's ready to populate for all of them. The idea is that this is going to run. All right, this is not hooked up to our scheduler, so it's okay. We're actually not going to I'm going to just clear that. So, okay, make sure that the C Limited DCF population is going to work for the rest of the companies in our collection. So go ahead and find it, take a look at it. The idea is over time we're going to add companies, and we should be able to continually populate new ones. Take a look at the insider transactions for the Microsoft script. We're going to populate that for the rest of the companies. I think it's already set up, but just double check. Take a look at D3 charts. Currently, we can't save the conversations because we don't save the chart data as well. So before we were saving images, now we're saving chart data. That's causing a problem with saving the conversations with our new charts. Open up a new one here. I'm just going to keep that one in the corner for usage because we're running close. So just update every once in a while. I want to make sure to just keep starting them up in this repo in particular. Notice there's a bug with our status line. I made a change yesterday. I noticed there was a problem with when you were counting the tokens for the price, we weren't counting the sub agents, which actually has a lot of, so this was undercounting the price that the API would have been. I think we're also going to update the UI for this because people that join might be a little bit confused by what this means, and people that use it as well. Hey, AM, how's it going? Yeah, we started late, mainly because of usage purposes. Mine resets at midnight, so we should be good. All right, so let's take a look at the status line here. Actually, I need to go to that repo. So that is our workflow tools. All right, so take a look at our status line. Currently, I think we introduced a bug in our last commits, so you can go look at that. It's no longer counting the price. Don't see any errors or anything. But we're gonna try to identify the bug, and we're also going to make it clear that this is what API cost would have been if we were using the API. We have to say that concisely though, so come up with some way to. I think it's roughly right. I just remember though, I'm gonna double check what we're at as far as our repo. Don't need to commit anything. I think we're pretty good. It's just our greppy thing. Okay. There's a new Cloud Code version today. Has a lot of usability things. I can finally do enter new line. It's a little annoying. Shift enter. Let's go ahead and add a dash all flag. So you know how this should work. It has to figure out what's in Firestore and build it based on that. The idea is that we'll be able to add new companies in the future, and we need to make it so there's a dash all as well as another flag for just adding the new companies. So it shouldn't just run for all of them every time. So it's some sort of tracking. Okay, let me check that, because that would be nice if I can save it. Okay, cool. Hey, Subtails, how's it going? Hey, Most Wanted. Yeah, we started a bit late because of the usage. I wanted to make sure we didn't run out because I prefer using Opus 4.5. Kind of feels like a little bit, most of the time is the bugs, so I'd rather keep using this model. That is my preference. So I had to take a little break. I was like, all right, can't use it today. Let me see. Usage. Yeah, it looks like we're going to totally be good. Running funny all day. Okay, pushing some new updates. Interesting. Good to know, Tails. We'll definitely see if that happens with us. We remember there was one day that was kind of strange. And apparently a couple other people reported the same, so I'm not sure. Sometimes that can happen. Yeah. I think I'm just about right. We just added a new tool, so it's going to use Greppy instead. So hopefully that'll save us some tokens. We'll see at the end of this week how many tokens it end up saving us. So that'll be interesting. See it reset my counter, which I don't really like that. I think we're going to revert the... Well, for For some reason, it reset the dollar count. Why would your change do that? Okay, I'm not going to say the first part. I don't actually want to revert it quite yet. Don't revert the change. Oh no, you just got that, Tails. Oof. I see if it saved the conversation. Okay, so it looks like it did not. So I'll let it investigate. So it looks like it was not saved, or at least it doesn't show in the front end. You can feel free to audit. My user is the admin. Take a look if it saved the D3 chart. It just didn't show. They're working on some scripts. You're using Cloud Code, Tails? Oh. Never mind. It's back. Can you explain to me the last change you did? I'm gonna look at it as well. I'll open up a new cloud just to see what it looks like. Oh, interesting. It's just updated. Huh. Is there a reason why it updated the existing dollars? How's it going, Bassam? Using AWS Kiro, gotcha. Well, maybe they prioritize their services. Anthropic, that'd be nice. There's a map editor. You're working with 3GS? That's fun. That's cool. Oh, that's cool. Actually, that reminds me, Keno posted this really interesting thing. I didn't really think of using Cloud Code to try to make, basically attach it to all the video generators and make it build a script and make a little ad. We can maybe experiment with this today, or not today, but maybe one of these days. Try to make a little Instagram ad or something. Apparently this is totally made in Cloud Code, so that could be interesting. And then some people are using it to order groceries, and other people connecting to an oven and other crazy things. I was thinking maybe we could connect it to the 3D printer, but I got to thinking it's probably just gonna make a bunch of simple little knickknacks that are super fun. But I think there's other things that'd be more interesting. Saying up quickly. Yeah, definitely. Software is really, it's really cool. We can just make a bunch of stuff really rapidly. Can you explain what is CWD here? So before, when we were counting tokens and we didn't have this, what was it counting? Cool. You guys can see it's using our groupie. It's pretty interesting. Is it still getting the deltas though? Because, okay, one of the problems before, right, is, you know what, we were using this total input, total output tokens to try to estimate, like, for each query, the delta of, like, how many we added, and then we updated the cost. In this new approach, are we still doing that? Because we might overestimate if it's like grabbing the JSON file and writing it every time and adding that. Which API are you using for that? We're using Alpha Vantage and some other. So for this government data, we use the government APIs, and World Bank, we use World Bank. For this, we get the SEC filings directly, all the financials. So a few different places. For price data, it's Alpha Vantage. Yeah, so the way this should work, and I think we're actually going to put all these scripts in our collection. So we have 3 now. It's a folder. There's another one for populating the earnings, income statement, cash flow statement, balance sheet for all companies. So this will be the third one. It should have this attach all flag, but it also should have attached new flag for adding new companies, because we're going to continually add new ones. So we'll need to run the scripts to only add for the new ones. So just do a little audit here. Where are these? And then we're going to move them. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think using the reading the total for all is okay. So it sounds like we're not even at that point. Then we don't even need to write the cost anymore. We just read for all the session data, and then we just do a little calculation and show it. I think we kind of thought we would have to track that ourselves. That was the original reason why we were writing the deltas and stuff, because we didn't realize that there's a file for all the sessions that have all the tokens counted already. Is this true? Is this kind of the right understanding? All right, cool. I think we're ready to run the populate DCF new flag, but let's also add another flag that's like limited to 5, because we're just going to test it on another 5 first. Now there's another one for the cash flow income statement in this repo somewhere. Can you try to find it? Hello, everybody. Yeah, let's list what we're going to do, what we're going to change this to versus what it was, and why we can change our existing to the new version. All right, cool. Let's do it then. Let's try it. That's probably gonna be a little more accurate. It's kind of funny. It noticed hot reloading was disabled. So yeah, the checkbox was enabled. So when we did our testing, it was enabled. Rendered live during streaming. Oh god, I was talking about streaming to YouTube. I was talking about the conversation stream. I was like, how the hell does it know I was streaming? It doesn't have to do, well, sure, go ahead. Oh, interesting. It just called grep even though I told it not to. Huh. Oh, I see. It's so even though we gave instructions not to use grep, when he used greppy and saw there were no matches, then it decided to override. Be like, all right, we gotta go deeper and try our tools. I'm not really against that. I must have put it in the other repo. Actually, I think I understood why we put it there. Yeah, it must be there. Well, now that I think about it, all of these should go there. So it's like the way it works every quarter, you run the scripts, you get the new financials for that quarter, and then you run the DCF updates. And the way the new flag should work for the populate DCF, it should also take into account not only that the company is there, but that it's up to date. So that's a little tricky. That'll require a little update. And then the insider transactions also will be updated probably every quarter. So we're going to move these scripts over to the data fields research, where in the same folder as the financials are. So go ahead and make a folder for them and put them all there. Oh, you guys can't see it, sorry. Okay, I'm gonna go look at these. I don't see it on the front end. We should make a elegant solution of the front end should be able to pick up these changes when we add to the storage. It shouldn't be explicitly, calling each one. It should grab the collection and populate populates what's available. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand that this doesn't really relate to the folder structure? The folder structure remains the same. It more has to do with these new files that come in. They're not being picked up. I don't think it changed anything, so I don't think this will work, but maybe we'll look for an error or something. I'll look in, actually I'll look in Firebase just to see if it stores anything. Yeah, but just explain more how you're going to implement it. That sounds good. Yeah, I think you got it. Please don't break any existing things in. Don't change anything with the financials loader because we kind of already tested that in the sector map. Oh, also in your quarterly workflow. Oh no, it's actually right. We don't need that. Cool. But go ahead and change the extract DCF financials. Go ahead and add the flags, as well as for the insider transaction script. Now, this is really weird. The way it works is you just look in the DCF. We have a DCF collection. I think we do need to probably go ahead and audit the way it's currently structured, because you're right. It's like you do need a little bit of a mapping, because I think we didn't put it in the same collection, the DCFs, as where the company is. We probably should mimic, like what the folder structure in Firebase is currently, should mimic kind of what we see in the front end, because then it just makes it really easy. And we don't need to have any mapping of like all the locations. You understand what I'm saying? Nice, it resets. Will it be updated on every prompt, or only when you close and reopen it? I go look in Firebase, see if it's stored, but I don't think it is, probably. There's probably some error. Yeah, I don't see any error. And nothing in Firebase. So this was using the D3 flag, and it did generate a D3 chart coming back. It just did not store. Therefore, there's some kind of bug with the storage. Go ahead and make some tests for this. It's basically testing, does the conversation get stored when you use D3 chart? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, go ahead. Making the last change, it reset everything to $1. Any idea? So this file, right? This session file, is it? Wait, is it just for one session, or is it? How long? When does it get reset? I guess. Yeah, I actually need to look. What is this file again? So for example, right, in our session start.json, how many tokens does it say we used? If it never reset, it should be very large. That way we can understand. I'm talking about the JSON-L file then. So, you know, the JSON-L file that we're reading, we want it to be something that's not being reset. So go ahead and take a look at it, see how many tokens are in there. Okay, for example, I want you to actually, right now, you are going to read the file, tell me tokens are in it, and compute the estimated costs for the last 4 days. We're going to see if it matches in our script. Yeah, we'll see if the test that Cloud Code builds is the same as the code that... Cool, okay. So we have validated that this file is wrong, essentially. There's no way the cost would be that. Interacting with Opus 4.5 for 4 days for 8 hours a day. So now we have to figure out if it's wrong, what was it measuring? I'm just curious. Like this file, it's either you could look up like some documentation or maybe you could figure it out some other way. What is this file? And let's go ahead and just put it in the docs so that we don't make this mistake again in this directory. Hey Ved, how's it going? Yeah, started streaming a bit later, so we wouldn't hit our limits. And I could keep using Opus. Okay, definitely not. It's not a one document per company. The idea is we want to mimic the front end structure, so each one of these will have a document, but in the right collection, right? So it's like, okay, insider transactions is a separate document within companies. DCF will have the DCF name, but it'll be under the company ticker. You understand? Before you continue, make sure you understand what I'm saying. So validate, please. Validate. How's it going, Tricker? Yeah, going to. I'm going to about 7:30. Hold on, I'm gonna. We're learning about how this is, how Cloud Code is. So, okay. Oh, interesting. Is that real? Is public? I don't know if that's public. Can you validate that this is actually real? We just discard it if this is not good changes. Exactly. Yeah, you got it. I don't think you need the series collection though, right? Can't just be under Apple. Yeah, you can go ahead and remove them there. Actually, no, just in case. No, it's fine. You can always go back and find it. Broski, I'm telling you, you didn't fix it. So something is fundamentally wrong. So you need to add a bunch of logs before the actual upload. The saving of the conversation specifically in D3, but add logs both for the without D3 because it's probably hitting the wrong code path. Is what's happening. The same way when I take a few break. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, here's right when I start, I gotta remind myself what's going on. Or leave off. One sec, I'm gonna get something to drink. I'll be right back. All right, let's go ahead and test one. So we'll do the DCF one. We actually have to update the paths. We decided to do it to store it in a different place now, so I'll show you. So this is an example. Do you understand what I'm talking about? So go ahead and look in Firestore at our current collection. Audit how the current collections are. Hey, how's it going, Twitter people? Okay, I gotta ban some people. Alright guys, I'm gonna turn off the chat for a little bit until the little bots run away. I always think about it's interesting, you know, you look at the bots on Twitter, you know, the cost for, you know, you see all these like crypto bots, right? But, you know, I think about it, it's like, surely they're not using the Twitter API, right? Because like I highly doubt they're spending the 10,000 a month or whatever the crazy amount is. It has to be something really ridiculous. Okay, cool. All right, given this new information, here's what I'd like you to do though. Firstly, you're going to actually look at this file. You're going to tell me based on your current strategy, what the number is going to be, right? We know roughly what it should be. So go ahead and do that. Cool. So I'm going to create the D3 chart once more. Yeah, this is roughly right. I would say go ahead and do it, but just do the DCF one. Just do one of them to start. You have to modify the script though to store in the right place. So just do it for Microsoft to start. And we'll check it after. Yeah, you can go ahead and modify the front end because we're going to start storing these in the right place now. So you can go ahead and pick them up how you described here. Except we are doing it under items, like you mentioned. Oh, is it still running the... Oh, right, it's the cloud. Let me turn off the chat in this window as well. I'm kind of wondering, maybe the comments on Twitter aren't blocked by the API, but it's also just probably just some scraping thing they're doing. Because they might not be using the API. So these numbers, right, for 4 days of 8 hours a day, I know are incorrect, right? So we are not, we are missing one count, and it's probably related to the sub agents. And so go ahead and try to find it. I think what we're going to do, look at our prior changes, because we had a much more accurate count there. That's when we were counting the deltas, each image, rather each prompts. We count the deltas and then we add it this way. It was more complicated, but we get a pretty good result. If we can't achieve what we're doing, what we're trying to do in this new method, that's fine. But go ahead and check. Yes, for anyone watching, I'm not doing whatever, I'm not involved in any coin related thing. So if you see any coin stuff, I don't know what this is. I did not do anything related to that. So you might see in the chat some people, some bots. Oops, that's just the change to the script there. I'm curious what the right. So I'm going to check the logs for this particular. Okay, good. We got our save debug. That's going to help us. Let me double check that it's there. And we will check if the front end changes reflects situation. I'm gonna do one that we haven't done already. Go ahead and add it for Intel as well. That's well, so we're no longer going to use these new. You can go ahead and delete them. Actually, I think they're not even there anymore. These double check them. Let me take a look at this. Just going to start removing some of these. Yeah, it's kind of funny a little bit. All right, we're checking if the scripts are there. Let me see. Yeah, these scripts are gone here. Actually, this one isn't. We can delete the populate DCF script here. It's moved somewhere else. We're no longer going to do that. Not in this repo, so do not worry about it. Cool. I'm gonna go look if we see these. Something's wacky with our search. Why would INTC come up with all of these? That makes sense. Oh, okay, did something wacky. Let me go look at our collections. It's not the collections part of it. It's just the front end. Oh, I see. I get it. Yeah. Cool. We got our new model. Fair value is, oh, I see. We gotta fix this as well. Huh, interesting. Yeah. Let me continue to. Yeah, Ved, don't feed the trolls. All right. Let me make sure to. You have to. So all the other folders are gone. I'll show you because you didn't make the changes to all of the financial data. We have to kind of run a little migration here. Not a migration, but it's actually not a migration. The front end just needs to be able to pick up all the collections, even despite if they don't have this items sub-collection. I notice it's not populating, I'll show you. So we're missing a lot of numbers. I think it's because you ran the DCF script, but you didn't run, we have an extract DCF financials. So this is a little bit weird, right? I think we should kind of have like a master script that's about adding new company data, right? And we just separate it by flags. But it will use the existing scripts. It's just like, the idea is we pretty much never would want to populate the DCF without the data for the DCF, right? So there's like a certain order that makes sense. And that's what the master script is for, to achieve our goals without missing important components. Oh, Cypher, day 6. Yeah, I'm streaming later. I wanted to not hit my max usage, run out of Opus. DCA is needed for a web developer. Yeah, I would say, well, you know, I'd say not like leak code kind of stuff, you know, that probably not strictly, you know, that important, but more like the fundamentals, you know. So things like caching, and knowing how caching works involves knowing how data structures work, right? And indexes, if you know how hash maps work, kind of, you understand how indexes work. And so, well, sometimes a lot of these, they're a bit, they're like equivalent in a way. I would just start with kind of look at like software development as like, don't focus on it's not so important to focus on the frameworks and stuff in the beginning, more just the fundamentals of like networking and things like this, and they'll help when you're working on that stuff. Networking, caching, indexes, databases, you know, authentication, all this kind of stuff, these concepts too. Security. Oh, let me take a look. Nice. Everything's back. I might test out the search again. Yeah, I'm curious why the search does that. I think it works for Microsoft though. Interesting. So Intel in particular is showing all these folders. Weird bug. Let's look. It's kind of interesting when I look up, actually I won't do it in this chat, I'll do it in another. Okay, so it's calculating the costs. Yes. Interestingly though, I cannot load the conversation again on the front end. If I reload the research page, I suppose you're saying it's stored. But if I reload, I will never be able to fetch it. So something likely on the front end as far as fetching. Take a look, no error. Oh, well, I guess I didn't really make sure on this particular question. But that said, I will let it run. If I reload the conversation at the particular path, do not try that. I just looked at the main page there. All right, let me actually take a second look at that actually. Before I start running it on the 500. Right, we didn't run the extracts. All right, take a look at this. Looks like we did not, take a look at this. Looks like we did not run the extract financial, DCF financial for INTC before we ran the creation of the DCF. Oh, I'm gonna wait on this one. Yeah, that was the goal of the status line. It should be for all the projects globally, right? Tell me a little bit more. Currently, what are we measuring? Is it just for a particular directory? Yeah, exactly. It's probably reading from the wrong place. We got to update the UI. If you see, we're doing this little switch as far as where things are stored. Go ahead and take a look. It should be reading from where you described there. Yeah, go ahead and take a look at how it fetches it. My understanding was we actually extract out the information we need for the DCF, and that's what we're fetching, but double check me on this one. The working example is Microsoft, so I'll show you. I notice currently Microsoft's the same, so again, it's probably like you said, it's just reading from the wrong area. I need to read this, kind of important. Hold on a second. I'm pretty sure we used derived data before. Are you getting rid of this idea? Gotcha. I see. But the derived data is not actually going to show on the front end. That's kind of the general idea here. Cool. Let me take a look here. Yeah, hey Abaman. Yeah, it reset here. Reset today. Or an hour ago. Got your feet vibing? Nice. Okay, I'm gonna delete a few more of these here. Alright, cool. All right. Let's take a pause. You're correct, but the table does not have the income statement cash flow. It won't have that, right? We're using the derived. The whole point of the derived data, right, is like that is what the DCF uses. That is what the DCF is showing, and that's what we want. And I'm just checking that you are using this script here. Take a look. The point of this script, and double check me on this, but the point of this is that we're extracting out information from the the operating statements here to build this the information we need for the DCF. So that's what we need, and we need to store that. I think what your idea was there is good. You store it as derived, as a document in that same location, but the front end just doesn't pick it up, and that's kind of one of those particular documents that we know, hey, this is not something we need to display. Well, it is shown on the DCF itself, right? It's just not a separate document. You understand? This is the current page. I'll show you. Oh, okay, we found it. This is what's going on. So I want people to be able to use this tool though, right? So we should give them an option of like, they choose what directory they want to track. I guess that's how we will do this going forward here. So in my case, right, it's my projects directory. So that's what we can do. But I suppose the question there is though, is it going to track if I open up cloud on a folder underneath the, is it going to basically populate up the directories? Do you understand what I'm saying? So if I'm only, I'm bringing in a project, is it going to populate up or not? It probably won't, right? And so let's check this. This is a little tricky, I think how we did it before is probably a little more, well, we'll see what it says, but it's going to be a little more usable. What kind of front-end library used for that prism? So the libraries, we're actually not really using a whole lot for the charts. Cloud Code can do a lot of cool stuff. You just have to iterate with it design-wise, and Gemini 3 too, but we're using recharts, D3 for the charts as well. It's, Tailwind, honestly, pretty vanilla as far as like, we're not using ShadCN or anything else. I want to run this, so I'm just waiting, but I want to fix the DCF thing first before I do that. I'll just make sure I didn't hit the 1,000 limits. That'd be kind of funny if that was the bug. It does not bubble up. Okay. Well, we could allow the user to set a list of directories, and then we merge it all together. That's how I would do it, I suppose. Or this, they choose a top level directory and we go merge it for them. I think a list of directories is just a little easier though, because if they have like really, I mean, if you just look at the edge case, I guess. I think we're just going to allow the user to put in a directory. Actually, you know what? Here's what I want. Let's undo, go ahead and look at the git diff history here and our commit history. We're going to undo the recent changes with the status line and the cost. Only for the status line though, not for the other. You know, we had the timer and the token. We're not going to change those. I think we're just going to undo it to start. The idea here is now at least we understand the problem. This is why. And go ahead and actually, you're going to add this to our doc in workflow tools, so we understand in general the structure of how this is working in the future. So we have an interesting thing going on here. You know, it appears to be saving, right? There's no error on the front end. So I think what you need to do, you know, it doesn't show up in the conversation history. There's no error. We need to figure out a way to log the conversations. So, you know, when we load the research TSX, it's doing a fetch. It's grabbing all the conversations. During that fetch, it's going to be skipping some with a silent error at some point. And that's what we need to fix. So you're going to find that fetching logic. You're going to make sure any areas where there could be silent skipping of conversations, maybe ones that have errored out or whatever, you're going to have to make sure to log out so that way we can see it. Then we can figure out what the problem is. So that's pretty much the general steps here. It's just like, if you don't see logs, that's what you would do as a developer too. You'd be like, okay, well, we're not logging some sort of silent failure. Just go add the logs so we can see the error and then fix it. So it's just the general idea. All right, I'm just gonna delete the no reload thing for a while. We will not need it. Let's take a look here. sec, guys. Oh, it's not her. Okay, so the AI is lying to me. Hey, Tricker. I've kind of used both. It just depends on the project, but I definitely understand. There are some cons, but at the end of the day, they're kind of the same thing. Just like log the stuff, look at the stuff to understand the code flow. So it's Hey, Bravo, how's it going? Yeah, it started a bit late. I wanted to not hit my limit with the session. Okay, so we should have some logs here if I reload. Okay, nice. That should help potentially. Do you see what's going on here? You can go through these conversations. I noticed one has the D3. However, I don't see an error. It seems to actually load, so, but it's not showing up. So interesting. There must be some other, I guess we're fetching it, but when we actually try to load it in the UI, there's some sort of silent error. Kind of mysterious. Go ahead and add more logs where you think this might be necessary. Actually, given that it loaded in, I'm wondering if it's an ordering issue, because that does seem a little bit. I'm actually wondering if it's an ordering issue now, because go ahead and clear, for my user, go ahead and clear. Actually, I'll just delete the. Actually, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna delete my Firebase conversations, and I'm going to do it again, and then we'll know if it's an ordering issue. It's just maybe at the bottom. I could just also scroll down. Nope, but I'm curious. Nope, won't be a short stream. I'm going to 7:30. Yep, So another 7 hours or so. I'm gonna get another cup of the Diet Coke. So much stuff I want to do. I was looking at the Discord, you know, it's like we can be more creative than we are. Like there's so many things we can, like, I kind of want a smart home. Like you get a bunch of lights and kind of fun. Oh, awesome. Hey, Bravo, I might actually change the times again. Back to what it was, the 5 a.m. as well. Yeah, it's so much fun, man. It's extremely addicting. It's kind of like a game. It almost feels like a game sometimes. So I looked, it's not, I mean, it doesn't appear to be an ordering issue. Very strange. Okay, so now let's audit the states of what's going on here, right? So it sounds like, okay, we are doing kind of like a global, this will work for no matter where you're working, right? It's adding the delta. This is my understanding of how the token's in and out. However, apparently we're not using the sub-agents or something. Is this the general gist? We're kind of missing some tokens. You've been building your SaaS. Can't. Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Yeah, I think you feel free to send it to me. I think you told me kind of the gist of what you're working on, but feel free to, you know. Forget it. I'm good. Oh, nice. Just make sure that didn't, was that a cache thing that it loaded like that? Oh, it actually wasn't. Interesting. Wait, did it change numbers too? That's weird. That's loading in something else first. It loads in the right numbers. Oh, wrong one. It's kind of weird. It actually, so check the front end here. It loads in some different numbers at the beginning, and then it switches, which tells me that you fetch something and then fetch something else that loaded in, which is not good. So go ahead and figure out, when we load in a DCF document, what are all the fetches that run? Why I have a blanket? I don't know. It's just warm. I like it. This is proving a little more tricky. Get the right number. If this is the case, right? How are we coming up with the, show me the exacts? Okay, actually a number of things. Okay, number one. Show me the exact conversion from this to the number we're seeing here, which is you can automate your own Insta for now. I got nice gym posts. Oh, that's cool. Hey, Josh. Okay, it does. Yeah, it's still doing it. Let's see. Yeah, combine it into a single fetch. This is kind of weird. Definitely do number one. Let's go Neil. That's the best article setup for CMS, for SEO blogs, for non-tech vibe coder. That's your best way to vibe code with WordPress, or do more proprietary systems. As I do not want to use cloud for every blog. It's been a long time since I've used WordPress, so I don't really know too much about. I'm sure it's changed a lot since last time I used it. As far as SEO goes, again, I actually don't really have a lot of experience as far as I know the basics, backlinks, like the fundamentals, but I don't know exactly how to go about doing that. So you probably have more knowledge in that area than I do. I never really spent a lot of time marketing in the past, so that's going to be something that I'm kind of starting, when we actually do start marketing this, we're going to start with the strategies that we've created, but at the end of the day, it's going to be a learning process, I'd say. So I do not have much to teach in that area. I'm going to close this one. Sure, but I'm starting to think there might be some limitations as far as do we, we're essentially just guessing what these are, right? We're looking into the cloud configs and looking at what they're storing, and we're guessing this is what's going on, right? But realistically, we need to find the actual source of truth, and I don't think we have access to that. We're making an estimate. So you agree with this, right? Let's talk a little bit about it. I think there's some limitations as far as, because I see there's a lot of different things being stored. We have cache tokens, we have the other ones. All right, we have cache writes tokens, cache read tokens. Granted, I guess that's kind of... Oh, okay. Okay, why did you say this before, though? This doesn't match what you just said. The numbers that you put there, you put a much lower number. Hey Ed Arsh, how's it going? We're streaming a little later today. Yeah. Marcus. Live stream your own marketing tactics. Nice. Actually, I would watch something like that. I think someone that really knows what they're doing with marketing, I definitely would have a lot to learn as far as that goes. Exactly. We're reverse engineering from observed data Okay, here's another thing though. Here's another way we can do this. If we have access to the conversation history for each session, including and in that conversation history, it has all the sub-agent calls and the reads, and then we should be able to reverse engineer what the tokens are, right? When they close the actual session. Do we have access to that? Now here's the thing, man. I can't actually see the conversation with the D3 data. It's not even in the UI. That's part of the problem here. Yeah, marketing sounds very creative. You know, there's so many ways you could go about it. It sounds pretty interesting. I'm just going to go in the database. Oh, 1 second here. You've done all types of marketing. Nice. That's cool. Can you go grab these conversations and just see what's stored there? Oh, interesting. Okay. So basically, Cloud Code is storing lots of files. None of the files are very consistent for what we're trying to do. So it's very tricky. We're relying on the files that Cloud Code is storing to try to estimate the costs here. So if every file is a little different and some things we don't know what exactly how they are computing the value, we're just guessing, there's really no way we could make an accurate cost counter. That was loud. I'm gonna remove this though. I think it's not very accurate. I think it was reasonably accurate, but like, I don't know. Not super, maybe like 70% accurate or something. Yesterday you can't see usage stats. Interesting. I saw that yesterday you could use it infinitely or something for a while. Kale said that. So mine is, the way it works is it's, you have your current session, you have your current week. It resets every 5 hours. It's a 5-hour rolling window. Then you have your week limit. Oh, interesting. Yeah, we don't have visibility into how Cloud Code computes. I was kind of thinking though, what if we, here's what we do, right? We have a bunch of conversations. We save all the documents, like what happened during the conversation. We save we just copy paste it, and then we compare it to all of the files to figure out which one is like accurate for the actual token use. Granted, Cloud Code could be doing some token usage that's not displayed to us, in which case we can never be totally accurate, right? Yeah, I might just get rid of it. It's kind of pointless. It's like we can't even validate how accurate it is. But then it's just a number. It's not super interesting. So that's what we do currently, right? We build our cost tally JSON, but you're saying it doesn't include sub-agents and stuff? It's kind of confusing. Okay. I guess I leave it then. But who knows the accuracy. Can you come up with any experiment for how we could test the accuracy of these numbers? Hey, Sturfer, feel free to add the jump on the Discord if you're interested. Ved, that's just roughly what I was thinking per day I'd work on it. Just roughly the amount of hours I wanted to put into it per day. Oh. I was like, something is wrong, right? Like, it keeps telling me that it's there. And the bug was, see, I would load these, and I would be like, it's not here. This is still the old message. But what happened was it's rendering below it, and I didn't scroll down. So I thought this was the old one. Okay. So it is here. We just have to, the bug is that it's putting the old chart in there too. So, yeah. And we're fixing the styles of this and everything. This is, the dark mode charts are not loaded in quite yet. Oh, you guys can't see. This is the bug here. So it's 2 charts, and I would load in here and I would be like, it's not working. It's not here. But it's just put it down here because I didn't scroll. All right, so the situation, we have figured it out. Basically, it's loading in both the D3 chart and the old chart for some reason. Actually, it's a little bit mysterious why. I think maybe did you implement this so it is doing both in parallel? That's a little weird if you are doing that. But yeah, it's generated both. Cursor cloud. I really like cloud. Same time. Well, I suppose what we've been kind of doing is I'm usually working on the workflow tools simultaneously as the project, so the things to improve our workflow. This is the status line. I'm working on the status line currently. Trying to get this number to be, I want it to be accurate, but it's just a little tricky to get it exactly 100% accurate. We don't know how accurate it is actually at all. We can make a guess. Seems roughly right, because I remember I used the API for a little bit, but very roughly. Oh, I guess we could run a little experiment. I'd turn on the API usage. I use it for 10 minutes. I send all the exact queries, and we see if what matches here is what I actually paid. So we could run a little paid experiment, I suppose. But ideally, we don't have to do that. So it's trying to run its own experiment. I'm kind of curious what it's doing. Yeah, mooing, I'd say it's definitely just a tool. It's up to the user. You know, if you don't know what you're doing and you're using this tool, it can be a little dangerous, you know. So I always say, you know, before you deploy the public, you need to invest in the time to know all these things. Like building something for yourself is okay, like pro tip, but exactly. I mean, that's one of the classic things. There's many problems like this. You know, another one is like, let's say you implement, let's say you're adding authentication to all your endpoints, right? You got your decorators, everything's good, but you forget to do the authorization part. So any authenticated user could get anyone else's data, right? That's another thing. Right? There's a lot of things like this. Like, you should invest time to learn that before you decide to deploy, because it's important to understand those concepts. And yeah, so that's what I'd say. Use it as a tool. The AI is going to make mistakes, and you have to catch it. So you have to read the code and say, hey, this is not right. We always read it, especially now that it's. And then I'm going to do a final read through before I merge to main. You can have Cloud Code audit it, right? Sure, but you should also scan through it too, because that's just how it'd be. This is so weird because I know for a fact that we are not overestimating with the $313 figure, right? Like, that's, if anything, it's maybe overestimated, or it's almost right on or something, right? I know this because I've used it. As the API, so I'm just I think we just have a fundamental misunderstanding of these. It's possible maybe the sub agent running, a lot of it is not considered paid, something like this. The two concepts, you know, the security thing is authentication and then authorization. So really study those things, understand like, okay, just because the user's authenticated, I need to have an extra layer for the specific resource can they access and things like this. Cloud Code is also a good teacher. Just ask any question, I'd say. Well, if this is true, if anything, it's maybe underestimating a little bit, I suppose. Okay, cool. So it did combine those. Great. Which API are you using for the text gen? I think you were talking about for the voice stuff. I use Whisperflow. Or maybe you're talking about the AI. I use just any of these Gemini models. I'm gonna turn it back to light mode for the testing. API provider. I use it's just called Google. It's Google Cloud. I'm using their Gen AI SDK. You get the Gemini API key for Google Cloud. Oh yeah, it's because we're making code changes. I think realistically, the only way for me to truly validate this is to actually just run a test where I spend the money. Technically, like I do, let's say $5 with the API usage, and then I compare with what we've built. It seems like probably the only way. I can't think of any way to simulate it without actually doing it. Because we have the black box of cloud code, we don't know exactly how it's working. Counting the costs. Okay, well, I'll probably do that sometime. Maybe one day if I ever run out of API usage. I'll just do a little $5 test. $1 maybe, doesn't even need to be very much. Just a quick little test. And I can be reasonably sure. Okay, I'll close this one for now. I think we spent enough time on that. Okay. I think right now, I don't think the scheduler didn't send me emails, so I think it's not totally hooked up to resend yet. Our scheduler, take a look. Or rather, the scheduler doesn't trigger our resend emails. Take a look at this repo and how the scheduler, on what endpoints the scheduler is calling. All right, I think we're ready to run this. I'm gonna do it in this one though. All right, cool. I think we're ready to run the populate DCF for the rest of the companies. It should populate both the DCF and the extract the DCF financials. So go ahead and before we begin, tell me what scripts you're running and what commands you're running. Hey, we can close this now that we are good. Hey Bravo, we implemented our own little tool, so it's actually speaking of that, we actually didn't open up. So check it out. It's called greppy. It's in the description, but it saves a lot of tokens. So if I go under my research, which is my data feeds, this is where I have it enabled. And I can do a side-by-side comparison if you want. So this window will be without greppy. It's not only faster, but it saves tokens. I'll explain what it is once we run it. Make sure they're exactly the same. Okay. Technically, this is going to be looking at another. Gotta make sure they have the same path. Okay, cool. So you see once it gets to get it using grep. Oh, what the heck? Oh, I see what happened. So because I am going outside this repo, it's not going to use our tool because I've configured our tool to only work in this repo. But then I asked a question saying, hey, look at this other repo outside of the repo we're in. Then it doesn't trigger it. So I put an experiment on the repo if you want to look. But basically what it is it runs a vector DB with an embedding model. And for any time it's running grep, instead of running that and wasting your tokens, spending all the time searching your files, it's running to this database where you've indexed your code base and going boom. Then it comes back with the results, and it's faster, and it doesn't have to use tokens on the grep. So yeah, if you want to try it, it's pretty easy to install too. But it doesn't work here because I configured it only to work in this folder, which I guess we can fix. I actually don't need both of these running now. Don't want to waste any. I'm just going to close this one. All right. I guess could we use our master script for this now that we built? The idea was that master script, we can just tell it our goal, which would be like DCF population, and it knows, so we don't have to do this in the future. Oh, fantastic. Oh, that's exactly what it did. Great. Nice. So you're telling me this script, but one thing I noticed is we're doing no insider, but this populate company, is this also going to try and get the financials as well, given that we didn't have a flag for no extraction of the financials, just the DCF stuff? But I guess it probably won't find any, right? The idea that it's not going to find new documents to add is kind of what you're thinking. Also, just make sure, so let's say we do run everything, right? Hypothetically, let's say we run the script with all of it. What is it going to do? Is it actually going to try to grab new quarterly data already? And let's say there was no updates in quarterly data. Is it going to make sure not to fetch new stuff? Because that's our goal with this. You worked in the industry. Yeah, it's in my description on YouTube, but was a software engineer for 4 years, over the level for 4 years, and I graduated in CS. So I worked at Salesforce and Expedia and Microsoft. I can close this one or just clear because we're having this other one do it. So. Yep. close some of these. I'll try some of the new workflow tools that JL added yesterday. So we did an update to the workflow tools for the DOM extractor. Can you reload my hammer spoon with the changes? Nice. So just double checking that is working. I suppose I will try cool. So now that it's working, sort of, we're going to go ahead and do you see the insights tests in this file? It's those like 120 insights tests. We're going to make 100. We're actually not going to make. We're just going to allow us to pass in a flag. That's gonna it's gonna enable the D3 charts instead. So those end-to-end tests, it's gonna trigger our query param for D3. Sorry, I actually meant the it's the data feed scheduler. That's what I was talking about. Yeah, exactly. So the scheduler should also call the send daily email task, and it should go through our email list. You know, it's been a while since we checked, but I'm not even sure. Yeah, I don't think we ever actually stored our email list. I mean, it's there in a way, but not in a separate location in Firestore. So let's go ahead and build that. The idea is every time someone, you know, signs up, clicks accept for the disclaimer, then now they're part of the email list, and they should be stored in Firebase as part of the email list. And that's what we're going to use for what we're going to send out from the scheduler. It should send out morning and evening both for the morning and afternoon brief. How do I enable a precision mode? It's not working for me on Mac, on Safari. So is it because it's not hooked up to the Apple script and things like this? Because I think he was working on this with a different computer. It's enabled, and I go ahead and look at the logs because I did Command-Shift-K in the Hammerspoon logs there. So what would be the command if we want to extract all new financials, meaning new quarterly data for the companies, if they exist, and populate the DCFs, update the DCFs, I mean, only on the new financials and the insider transactions. So if I just do -- new, is it going to work for all of those and be impotent? You online? It's recording. I'm online. Are you from Russia? Oh, that was a good thing. That was a hidden token. Always on your toes. I am AI. It's true. I don't know what that means. Yeah. Can you do a little test for me? Run get newsletter subscribers. I'm going to look at what it's returning. I'm going to put this over here. All right, I gotta remove another person. I noticed it kind of stopped calling Grappy. Oh no, it still is good. At least at the top it was. Should be using Greppy for this, so let's investigate. Take a look here. Take a look at our workflow. Look at our Greppy tool here. Right now it appears to be, sometimes it calls this read. I'm pretty sure this is like a sub-agent. We might have to update our cloud settings to try to disable this one as well. Hey, thanks, Andre. Go updating our tests here. Okay, cool. We're going to run our D3 tests. Very curious. Let me commit a few things. It's going to get a little messy. Yeah, I think these are good to go. It's a little hacky. It's okay for the moment. You might want to make a note. Oh, nice. Check it out. We got our precision mode activated. That's pretty dope, actually. Oh, that is really cool. And you can paste it over. So we fixed it on ours. Let's take a look what we did. I think it was just a reloading thing then, I guess, because no code changes. It just needs to make the code changes and we'll push it, but that's cool. Okay, let me check the tests. Okay, see the tests are still on that using the D3. Now the tests currently looking at the images, they're not the D3 images, so something's not quite hooked up. Somehow along the way, what's being stored in our output is the old images. Well, I guess now that I say that, it's probably because we're not taking images of the D3 chart. So let's talk about this. I wanted these tests to actually show me the visual. Can we implement this easily for the tests? Some sort of way to extract an image from the chart data for the D3. But this should be implemented in the tests because we would use it basically nowhere else. Just a quick validation thing. Yeah. What about the read though? Might work. Oh, nice. Haha. That's actually really cool. This is so cool. Now it's so easy to find everything. Crypto things. Hey, Sammy, how's it going? Pretty good. Check it out. This is something KL made. It's really cool. So we can select a particular thing for design. We'll be using this when we design. Select the things, that way the LLM can find it really easily. Just be like, this is reposition this, and then go like, plug it in, and it finds it really quickly. Yeah, I want Greppy to use the read. I want the read to be used. That cloud, we should only restrict it to Greppy because Greppy can do everything. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and yeah, let's run that new script, new limit 5. Let's try this out. You have GF? Yes. Wants to use playwright. No, I don't want to do that at all. Yeah, definitely not. Any other way to achieve this? I guess could we use any other thing to get an image of the D3 rendering? Oh, it doesn't read. Oh, fantastic. Let's go ahead and add a read to grepy, because that'll be... we don't want to read the entire file, though. Well, I'm wondering, right? Why do we have to have this read command, right? Like, we have the semantic search embedding model in it, right? So can't we just do the search? Why does it have to actually ever need... It doesn't ever need to go through and read parts of the file. It can just use the semantic search, right? Oh, I guess what you're saying, like, it might find an area, but then it needs to read the surrounding code. That's kind of what you're thinking. Cool, did you make any change to the repo you might need to make? I think it did, but I will check. Oh, I see. So basically, I just didn't update my Lua file with the repos version, but everything was right in the repo. That makes a lot of sense. Let's go ahead and add this read here. I don't really like any of these. Let's just have the test. I think what it should do is just save a little HTML file that I can just open for each test and validate the chart. Let's go ahead and right now the D3 charts, we're only using the light mode charts, but it should respect whether the user's in dark mode. Right now we only hooked up D3 to the research page. We made some changes to the comparison bar that aren't reflected in the dark mode ones. I'm not even sure, did we actually even... I don't even think we brought in the dark mode ones. So go ahead and audit. I think so. It's in this path, something like this. You can find it. I'm gonna remove the... We're going to remove in the status line the money at the moment because it's a little misleading. So it's located here. So I saw this experiment on Discord. We're going to try to reproduce what they've done. They made this really cool marketing video, and they use Cloud Code to do it. We're going to do something very similar. We're going to do it for Prism. We're going to use the same stuff, Google VO3. Wait, but validate here. Does VO3 have an API? I don't think so. Oh, cool. Those Cloud Code maybe fixed. I think the recent update fixed it, so when you make an update to some of these scripts, you don't need to reload, because I always had to reload in the past. I'm not sure though. Oh, let me show you Bravo. It's in the Discord, this thing here. Someone made this in Cloud Code. Supposedly, we're going to validate whether they were fibbing a little bit, and maybe they generated it and brought it in, and then Cloud Code just kind of put it together, in which case it's not that interesting. I kind of thought it would be like, I don't have to do anything else. I just grab the API keys and I can orchestrate a bunch of videos. That'd be really cool. Oh, nice. Never mind. Fantastic. VO3 is actually available. Okay, cool. When was that? Release. Okay, great. It was actually quite a bit ago is when I was not available. I missed that news. So, that is interesting. We are going to try to do that ourselves today. Hopefully by the end of today, we'll have a cool little marketing video. Like the one we saw, if we can reproduce what they did. So this is Prism. Take a look at this post. Supposedly you are capable of doing such a task. So you can do these things too. Take a look at data feeds, take a look at the landing page. It kind of says what it's about. You're going to write us a script and start to implement this. Put it in our projects, call it marketing, or maybe Prism marketing, and start. I guess, but right before you start though, just tell me your plan, how you're going to implement this. I just tell it it's tap. It's you can do this with you need to upgrade our homebrew version as well. I mean, home because this is a tap to upgrade our repo and update the brew version so people get the recent command here. Also, go ahead and update the README as well. I go take a look at these. These are interesting DCFs. I'm gonna go read their assumptions. Oh, I see. It should be the other way. It's kind of confusing. This way. Can you reorder this a little bit so it should be going left to right? The date increases, so 2022, 2023, 2024, and then TTM at the end. The TTM number doesn't look right. Something is a little bit off here. Do you understand why? Go ahead and evaluate what's going on. Yeah, really bad. Really bad. We'll try to tune the model so it doesn't suck at making projections. Because right now we're using the Flash model. Maybe we try to, well, we'll tune it a little bit. Gotta explain what we're trying to do with that. Yeah, I'm using a whisper flow. I'm gonna close this one. So we're gonna try to create a little marketing video. Yeah, just go ahead and implement it and just leave spaces for the, just the environments, variables. So I will set it later. Yeah, go ahead and try to do this. I guess before you begin, what's the story or whatever you're going to try to tell with this? What's the script or whatever? don't really like this. Can you take into account these two documents? Target user. And look at the landing page for inspiration. Gotta add a voice, bro. Right. Oh yeah, that's right. This what we're doing now won't have a voice. But we'll ask it how we can achieve it. Oh yeah. That's a minor bug. So that's good. Okay, what's our scripts? Like coffee, yes. All right, cool. I'm not drinking coffee. Yeah, today I'm drinking Diet Coke. It's true. But I'm still getting caffeine, so roughly the same probably. Okay, let me check. That's fixed. Nice. Fantastic. It's missing a year though. And it should be by quarters. All right, so I'm noticing some problems. I'll show you. So, and this will be in our scripts when we're building these DCFs. The model should be quarterly. So everything that we extract out from the DCF, it's going to be extracting a quarterly data, and the display would be quarterly for the model. However, the final projections are going to be yearly to build the model. I mean, to build the projections. So yearly is good for the projections. You just got to make that change. I think the reason you did it originally is that we hadn't extracted out in-depth quarterly data yet, so you just went to yearly. So go ahead and make these changes. Yeah, Tricker. There's definitely yeah, I totally agree. There's just so many things you gotta think about. It's just because, building something for yourself is one thing. You don't really care if it's a little buggy here and there or whatever. Yeah. Interesting. So it already supposedly built the layout for the marketing video. Very interested to see this. So I'm gonna go grab these API keys. Excuse me. Damn, 11 Labs has a lot of stuff. This is going to be interesting. I haven't tried a lot of these. I suppose let's do the video first. Actually, can we just go ahead and try doing everything? It's not that serious. Cool, you can go ahead and run the tests now. Did you already run some? Let me check. Oh, it did. Fantastic. Alright, I'm gonna go, I guess open some of these. You can just go ahead and, you know, go into the output folder, just open a few for me. Open like 3 or 4 so I can just look at them. Just let it do it. This is what it looks like. These are our little tests. I'm just going to make sure they match. Oh, you guys can't see it, sorry. Testing the new D3 charts are working. All right, so now we're gonna run all the tests, but yeah, go ahead and run all the tests now. Actually, you know what? Can you go ahead and we don't want to run all the tests really. What we want to do is just make sure every single, you know what? Just build a new set of tests like as well. We just want to make sure every D3 chart is working. So that means the scatter plot and all the other ones, right? So just duplicate some of these tests and just make them for D3, but only the ones that generate a different type of chart type. And you're just going to have like maybe 15 tests. Each one is going to reflect a different chart type for the D3, like the recovery path and scatter plot and stuff like that. Oh, nice. Already got the queue. Perfect. This is looking better and better. Lavender RDCF receive limited. Doesn't have the shares. All right, cool. But for the projection, make sure it's missing a year, so it skips one. It skips the one that we're currently on. So the way it works, that one's kind of a special year because you have some real data, but then you have to make a projection for the end of the year based on the real data. So it's a little tricky. Not that tricky, but just a little. And then the next thing is make sure to populate the shares outstanding. Right now they're not for quarterly. We might not be saving it. Check, I can't remember. Does Edgar Tools save it for each? I think it does, yeah. So that should be there too. For some reason, it always just chooses the same growth rate, which, yeah, anyways, that will fix all the stuff for each year. As they are set in the repo. .env. I will put it over here. Oh, nice. I got the shares outstanding. All right, now the thing is, we need to hook up a lot of stuff. There's a lot to implement here. It's like, you know, each one of these has an equation, the cells. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's kind of like, you know, change the revenue. All of the numbers below it will change. And because they're all hooked up. And then you can, the idea is like people want to change these. The long-term thing is we're going to allow them to store it to their profile, but for now it's just you're gonna hook it up. So it's just changing it, you know, locally, no persisted storage at the moment while we're testing. But it's just like before we begin, you understand? I want you to list all the things you're gonna have to change as far as what's hooked up to what else. The way it works is it's like when you change a value, it's going to change all the feature values. For example, if I change a revenue figure in like, well, I see actually you didn't include a growth percent from, well, I'll remove the last part. We'll just do it step by step. Never mind, just go step by step. You know what I'm saying. Just keep, just tell me what we need to do. Yeah, Mohammed, how's it going? It's like, let me put it in the chat. Oh, is that not the commands? Let me check. One sec. Oh, that is the command. Oh, there it is. I gotta get the chat again. It's okay, but also when you change like revenue, gross profit, that income statement, they're all hooked up. So people can go through and change. I'm noticing actually in your projections, you're going to have them be able to yeah, is there a specific name for, there's a different type of DCF? It's like, I don't know if, so the way it is, it's like you put in all of the figures, like you can change each one for quarterly. You did a more general one where you just kind of guesstimate the FCF, but I want it to be a little more detailed. Like you can actually go through and select each figure, and then you come out with the numbers after you play around with your estimates. I guess I'm trying to figure out the interface though. Yeah, these got a little messed up. Yeah, I think 10 is good. I think we should do Yeah, I think annual. And they can edit both C, so it should be C for 3, but also expand it so it's like they can really go through the numbers, like play around with like, for example, let's say you change the revenue, then it's going to change all of the assumptions below it for the projections. They should be able to get like really into the projection and change specific numbers. Maybe they think like marketing goes up and then it affects the expenses and things like this. I gotta fix some of the D3 charts. They're a little bit not very good, let's say. Start with this one. Take a look at this. Something happened to our annual returns intra-year drawdown test. You can actually go ahead and look at the logs if it is an error. I'm not really sure. Could just be a visual thing though. Thanks. Bye.